What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are installing a brand new active exhaust system for my R35 Nissan GTR. This is AAM Competition's version 2 of their active exhaust. It is really sweet. We're going to take a quick look at it before we install it. So that means the Armytrix is going. I've had that system on for like 2.5, 3 years now. It's been pretty good, but it's time to upgrade and get something a little bit different. I'm pretty used to that. We got all the components and everything. We even have a really nice Magnaflow muffler, beautiful welding. As you can see, everything looks so nice. This is all handmade right in Maryland, so it is a USA product. We have the big valve over here that makes it straight piped or utilize the actual muffler. And then of course I went with blue tips once again, and these are actually made out of titanium. You can see how they're riveted onto the stainless steel portion, and then we got the blue tint to them. So that is gonna look awesome. I love the blue tips for the R35. And then we have this really big pipe with a V-band that'll connect the muffler to then my mid-pipe. And then of course we have all the clamps. We have a V-band for the bigger part, which is really nice. Some of the plumbing, the wireless controllers, and everything like that. So there's a good look at the AAM Competition new exhaust. They have a lot of awesome parts for the GTR. As you guys know, pretty much everything on my car now is from them. The tuning and everything like that. My car is on E85, full bolt-on, straight pipe, no cats, for around 700 engine horsepower. So needless to say, my car's pretty darn quick, and this exhaust is gonna sound awesome. The flow in this, the way the muffler is designed, completely straight piped, zero restrictions with the valve open. So this is a very, very high performance oriented exhaust. So with that said, let's get the old one off and start getting the new one on. So with that secondary mid-pipe removed now, we're gonna start it up. Why not? Because this is really, really straight pipe. Just having the mid-pipe attached, which has a little resonator, so it's slightly muffled, but it'll still be pretty loud. But I'm excited to hear the new exhaust, just because with that valve open, it should be louder than this, and with it closed, it should be quieter than this. So that'll be exciting. So onto the muffler now, and this is pretty much the same steps as your stock exhaust system. So we have this framing up here, and you're gonna notice some bolts. We have bolts right there as well. And then in the back, you can see the 2 bolts up there holding on that hanger. And then same goes for right there. You get all those off, and the muffler's gonna come right off. We've already gone ahead and got the tips off. That makes it a lot easier. And then we'll just knock this thing out. I got it. Just bring it back a little bit. So with everything removed now, the car is ready for the AAM exhaust to go in. I've already removed all the plumbing from the previous system. It's just a bunch of different cables and things like that. But here we go, taking a look at the 2 different mufflers. So as you can see, we've got the Armytrix. We have 2 different valves here, and it splits into 3 different pipes. One of them goes right into the muffler when the valves are closed, and then it comes out to be quiet mode. And then when the valves open, it bypasses the muffler, goes out one side and then the other. And then taking a look at the AAM one, it's a much different system. This one is actually a little bit better flowing. This is really designed for like 1,000 horsepower cars. This is all about the performance, but being that we have a really big muffler, it should sound really quiet with the valve closed. And then valve opens, because we have so much space here, it is going to absolutely rip. And I love how these are actually titanium. That is a really cool touch from AAM. I'm not taking those off until we get them installed though. But now, next up, we just got to remove all these hangers. They're going to go on just like they came off, and then we can get the new muffler installed. But we're just going to lift this up into place, and these hangers kind of just slide into place as they came off. Not really too difficult. All right, so we got the back hangers in place first. Have your bolts ready to go. So you got to kind of lift it up. Alright, so while Mike is tightening up the few left bolts, so you can see how the tips come right through here. You can see the whole muffler, and then the other side. And then what we were doing, it's this bracket right here. You have to get it on top of this channel, or this piece right there. And then you tighten up the bolts. Same thing for the back ones. And then you can see them getting that all squared away. So with this, super simple. We're just gonna slide it all the way into the back. So taking the hanger, we'll just slide that onto the new pipe. The way it sits, I think it's gonna go just like that, and we can very easily lift this up to where it's gonna be, and then just using their factory bolts, at least get this in. And we can very nicely get all this lined up. So now that the exhaust is installed, we got that clamp all tightened up, same with the hanger bolts, and then the V-band over here tightened up. One thing as far as a tip goes for installing this, it seemed to be a little bit easier if we loosened the bolts that were these hangers for the muffler, lowered a little bit just to give you a little bit more wiggle room, and then Mike and I kind of wiggled the mid-pipe and this piece right here tighter together, and we got that snug. And then we kept the V-band a little bit loose as well, just so there's wiggle room. Once we got everything connected, we tightened everything up. So now the actual exhaust is installed. That is the mechanical side of things. Now we are going to get the Valvetronic system working. So we're now gonna start removing part of the trunk panel. So we're actually gonna take off this upper piece right here. You can see the carpeting. We have one of these plastic pins right there. And then on the inside, you can see another one sitting right there. And just a few of those. We'll get this top piece off. And then we need to remove this plastic piece right here, which we have a center one right in the center here. And then we have these little clamp pieces that we're gonna pop these off as well, and this will just come right off. So those pieces all out now. Here's that piece of styrofoam which just taped into place. On the left side of this square right here that says Nissan, you're gonna make a cut, and this whole side piece is gonna be removed. So after taking a look at all the instructions, I have my bearings with how this is installed. So this is, like I said, a vacuum generator, which is really cool. And then here's the vacuum line to go to the exhaust, and then the electronics to go into a wire in the trunk that'll actually power everything. We can pull up this area, and this is where the rear taillight power connections are. This grommet is what we're gonna open up, and this is where your vacuum line is going to leave the interior and get to the exterior into the muffler. So that's where we're gonna go there. And then this piece right here is going to get attached right about there. And then with the blue vacuum line, I can go ahead and connect it, and there are metal clamps that I can put on this end just to make sure nothing comes off. But now we're just gonna run this vacuum line on the backside of all this foam, just kind of keeping it out of the way. And then we can put the line under the carpeting just a little bit, and the lower carpet on the ground is gonna help also keep this out of the way. So because this is a pretty thick vacuum line, I don't really want to have it pinched in between these, and also because through this hole I can see the ground. So what I'm gonna do actually, there's a lot of extra rubber on this grommet. I'm taking a leather punch. I'm gonna punch a hole. All right, so I think that was a good hole. I will take the vacuum line and just kind of stretch it. All right, so we got a few feet of the vacuum line through it, and I can just now push this through the hole, and we'll catch up with it on the underside of the car. So from there, you can see all the excess we have, which is pretty good. That way I can push some of this back into the trunk. So this is just gonna connect onto the top of this valve. And again, we have metal clamps I can put around this to tighten it up, just to make sure it's never gonna fall off. So for the power source now, you have all of your cables right here. This is gonna get plugged into the vacuum generator that we already installed into the car. And then it has a screw to keep it nice and secure. So with that in, we do have some extra wire. This is gonna end up running basically on the side through this fabric area on the side of the trunk. And then we are going to tap into, you'll see a little opaque white dome light right here. You can just take your fingernail or a flathead and open up the dome, as you can see. All right, so with this out, all right, so I unplugged this portion. So then you're just gonna push that clip up and then pull the whole wiring loom out. So I'm going to the yellow wire. We're gonna cut this one in half, and then I'm gonna strip this a little bit, and we will connect it to the red wire on the kit. So from here, we'll get these two together, put this piece right on it, and then connect it with the other one. So with those wires all reconnected, just kind of push that plug back to where it was, and then with the plug out, we will reinstall the little dome light. So then for this ground wire, you're gonna find one of these bolts underneath where the speakers are, and you can just pull it right up onto the remaining threads of this bolt, and the kit supplies this nut. We're just going to use that and tighten it into place. So with all of that installed, I used the supplied zip tie and got the one electronic cable zip tied up here, and all the access is on the back side of this carpeting. Everything is looking really good, and before I'm going to button everything up, of course we're going to test it out. And then underside, as we know, everything is all squared away. So with the valve closed, all the exhaust should come out of that side, and then once I open it, which we have 2 remotes, wireless remotes of course, this valve is going to open, and then most of the exhaust is going to come right out here, straight pipe, no muffler. It's going to sound insane. So let's give it a shot. That sounds bone stock, but that is really quiet. I like that. So that is stock mode, normal mode, exhaust here. That is really cool. You can hear the little compressor like do a little thing. That's pretty neat. Now let's rev it up, give it a little bit. That sounds bone stock. I love that. Wow. So you can see it right there when I hit on. So I spent a little bit of time off camera realigning the exhaust just to get everything dialed in. I loosened everything and got the muffler squared away and tightened it from the back to the front. Just got one side of the tips on, so we'll pull the saran wrap off and check out this genuine titanium, which looks ridiculously awesome. The weld on the bottom is my bottom point, so it's really easy to line that all up. All right, and already the genuine titanium looks so much different than just stainless steel burn. Like, that is legit. It looks so, like, it has like a satin blue tint to it. So we have the supplied clamps that came with the kit, of course. You're just gonna go ahead and pop them on. You can kind of do it whichever way you'd like, depending on how easy it is to tighten it that way or the other way, but doesn't really make too much of a difference. And then one by one, just slide them on. And the good thing with these tips are, you can of course rotate them how you'd like them, and then make them go farther in or farther out. So we got all the tips installed now. The titanium looks so cool in the blue. So I have the remote now. Mike is gonna go ahead and fire it up. Let's hear it once again. E85 light, that is valve open. But right now, it idles so quiet. That is awesome. I'm excited to test it out, but those look so good. And you can see just how good the titanium looks. Instantly just told it to stop talking. Look at that. That is so awesome sounding. I love that. Oh my gosh. AAM Competition, you guys killed it with the design. I love the blue. So we've already gone ahead and got one skid plate on. Mike did that while I adjusted the tips. We're gonna get the rest on, and then let's go hear it just a little bit. So we're in the car right now, just in the neighborhood. So with the valve off, that is quiet mode. Right now, it sounds really quiet and even just like less noise than before. So I really am liking that. A few downshifts. Sounds like a stock car. I can't hear the turbo, I feel like a little bit more. So let's turn around and put the valve into the on mode. Second gear now. We'll just give it a little bit of gas. So there's some clips of it from the outside. Time for me to hear it. Let's see what it sounds like. Wow. That is way louder than before. Oh my gosh. Now that is like legit straight pipe. Just a little bit of a resonator in the center mid pipe there, but wow, that sounds so good. Man. That sounds so good. All right, so now quiet mode. I want to hear this. That's awesome. I love the difference between loud and quiet. You literally get the best of both worlds, which is why an active exhaust is the best thing for a Nissan GTR. It just gives you such a really good blend of having a loud, straight pipe, crazy fast car, and then a nice, tame, stock sounding car. But I think that's then it for today's video, installing AAM Competition's new active exhaust for the R35 Nissan GTR. It sounds epic. I will have more videos to come really showing off what this system does. I'll have AAM down in the description below. Check them out for all of your Nissan needs. They have insane performance parts for these cars. My car is running around 700 horsepower and it is a beast. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. I'll see you guys next video.